Okay, so I'm live on my so hi everybody, this is Counselor Mejia, Julia Mejia. We are live recording our segment on single moms during the COVID-19 times, and we are streaming live through our Facebook differently than what we normally would because we've encountered some technical issues. But I'm asking people who are following us on Facebook if you can just quickly send me a little note that you can see us so that we know okay, people are watching. Great, thank you. My girl Snacks and Miss Hot Sauce. Okay, Brady's watching. Okay, y'all. The world is watching us on Facebook the best that we can until we got the hot sauce in the house. So if we could, and we're going to ask everyone to just quickly introduce themselves. I'm going to ask you to say your name, the neighborhood that you represent, live in, and if you could... if you can go anywhere right now, where would you go and why? So I'm going to kick it over to Carla. Go first.
Hi, my name is Carla. I am from Dorchester. I grew up in Fields Corner. And I would go to Hawaii because I've been there before, and they have this cucumber salad that I love, and I just want to eat it. So I would go to Hawaii.
A cucumber salad. You know,
yes,
we have
and luau. The luau and the cucumber salad combo was I was feeling that, okay. So I would go back for that.
Okay, so maybe we need to do one of those this summer for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. I'm gonna go next to Miss Danielle.
And the question is, if we could go anywhere, where would we go?
Yes.
So this is crazy because I just decided where I wanted to go last night. So have you guys seen, obviously your mom, so you've seen Moana, right?
Yes, yes.
Because I want to be far, far away. I want to go on that island that the grass lady, aka the volcano lady, lives.
Yeah.
So I want to go live on that. I think it's Tifi or something like that. Yeah. I found out the name and I was like, that's where I'm gonna go because it's isolated, there's nobody there, and I could just be naked and walk around and swim.
And you want to introduce yourself before you go naked swimming? What's your name?
My name is Danielle, aka Hot Sauce, and I'm the owner of Spark FM Online, and I am so excited to be here with these awesome ladies today.
And what neighborhood do you rep?
I rep the line of Dorchester and Roxbury, but we're Dorchester, but literally like 4 steps away is Roxbury.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll take you in Dorchester.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Dorchester. I'm trying to fight with the Roxbury people to accept me as well.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go to you, Shaquera, next.
I'm Shaquera. I'm from Dorchester. Where would I go? Well, I've never been on an airplane before, so anywhere where it's sunny, hot, I don't have my children with me, and I can just be free. I can have a nice drink without the concerns of motherhood and just be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. And neighborhood you're from? Hi.
I'm from Dorchester.
Dorchester, okay. We're going to go now to Miss Paula.
Hi, I'm Paula, Dorchester, Fields Corner area.
Okay.
If I could go anywhere, I would go to the Maldives and just have one of those like bungalows right on top of the water with the floor that you can see right to the ocean, and I can just slide out into the ocean every day from my room. That's where I would go.
Yeah. Would you bring your kids?
No.
No.
Yeah. So we'll just say that we'll all be able to go where we want to go. We'll go on our own because we probably all need a little break right about now, right? Yes.
That's it. Yep.
I'm going to ask Brady if you could do me a favor, if you could put everyone on mute. so that because the way we're recording today, because I'm recording from my phone, the live, people will pop up if we see your audio. So Brady, if you could help us do that, that would be great. All right. So, all right, y'all. Okay, so this is the question. I want you all to be 100% honest. When you first heard about the coronavirus, right? This is even before it came to America, okay? I want you to tell me what did you think when you first heard about it? I'm going to go to Carla first. I'll mute Carla.
I just did it.
Okay.
At first, I was, I was like, is this a conspiracy? I was like, what is this? But after seeing the death tolls, it just became more serious. And then we had to cancel some events. And Charlie Baker had came on and had closed down things and had suggested that we decrease the amount of people that are at gatherings. And so after that, I was like, okay, it's going down, and this is real, and it's been terrifying,
Yeah. I know. I know.
We can't hear you, Julia. You're on mute now.
Oh, okay. Let me find out. Let me try to. Don't mute me. I'm just joking. I remember when I didn't take it as serious when I first heard about it. First of all, I didn't think it would get as bad as it did here, and because I didn't know a lot of friends that traveled out of this state as much, I didn't really think that it would hit close to home. So I was in shock. I'm curious to hear what Miss Hot Sauce, Danielle, what did you think and feel when you first heard about it as well?
I was anti-corona. I'm like, I didn't educate myself at all about it. I'm like, corona, they said it, I heard somewhere that it sounded like the flu. So I was like, oh, it's just the flu. People get the flu every day. What is the problem? And then, as time went on, I'm seeing people wearing masks. And I was like, you're mad dumb if you wear a mask and you don't have it. And then as time goes on, I'm like, oh, what is this? Look at that. They canceled school. They canceled all my events. They shut down the place. Now I'm like a mass warrior, and I don't leave my house, and I'm like, nobody should be breathing on us when we go outside. It's like in, out. I still have the same tank of gas for the last 2 months, and that is pretty interesting. I have not left. Yeah. I am in the house. I don't want nothing to do with no coronavirus, and I'm not scared of it. But I am just very cautious of it because my son has asthma. Now they're coming out with things about kids getting skin diseases. And I'm like, oh. And now we're opening back up. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I love it here. Yeah. I'm going to move to Canada very, very soon.
Yeah. I know. I hear you. I'm really scared about this new strain that is coming out for kids. And I've been paying attention. I just think that this whole idea of closing schools and maybe not being able to go back to school it is scary. Miss Shaquera, I'd love to hear from you. What did you think when you first heard about the situation? Oh, you smart. You got your little wine glass. Go on ahead.
No, when I first heard about it, I obviously was worried, right? But I really didn't think it would come to Boston the way it did. And then I'm thinking, like, same thing Danielle said. I'm just thinking it's a cold. It's the flu. It's going to blow over. And then the more, people that I knew were saying, I tested positive. That's when it really started to hit home. Like, okay, so there's no outside. And then immediately my fear of what if I get sick as a single mom? Who's going to be here for my kids? Who's going to take care of my kids? That has been my fear since the thing has kicked off.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that there's no school. There's like my kids literally don't go outside. I'm the only one that goes in and out. And like she said, I'm in the grocery store and out and back home. I go nowhere. No one can come here because we just don't know who has it. And if I don't take it serious, then other people would think, then, well, she's clean. I can go to her house and be fine. But that's not the reality of this thing.
That's right.
It's really not.
That's right. Thank you for that. Miss Paula. Tell me, okay, I am doing a show, And it's live.
Okay.
Sorry. So you guys are hearing everything. Sorry, fans. I'm sorry, my fans. Today has just been one of those days that I have people come, sorry for all of my technical difficulties today. Miss Paula, go on ahead.
How
Tell
on brand
us.
is that?
I think when this first happened, I had just started my new job. I think I was like just hitting into week 2, and this thing hit. And at first I was like, well, maybe it won't be as bad as China because we're the U.S. We'll have it under control. And then when everything started to get shut down, like Shaquera, my first thought was, if I catch this from one of my patients and I bring it home to my kids or I die, who's going to take care of my boys? And at this moment in life, it's like, it's just me taking care of them. So I don't have like, oh, if I croak today, if they're going to go to my ex-husband, he's not at school. It's like me, my fear is dying so that he doesn't get a hold of my children and destroy their lives. Yeah. So to me, it's like this virus made viral with anxiety. It's just a domino effect of thoughts, and I've been working on that for like now before the COVID even happened. So yeah, it hasn't been great for me. It's just like everything went downhill once this hit for me.
Yeah. And you know what, Paula, what you're going straight right into is the reality for a lot of folks. Because I know that for me, nothing was my being able to go to work and leave, and then coming back. But now I feel like I'm with my daughter 24/7, and there's no break, and not to have a partner at home to just be like, yo, can you watch her while I go decompress or while I go for a walk? I mean, even to go to the store, I'm lucky because my mom lives downstairs. But there are a lot of folks out here who don't have that ability to just bounce, right? And I'm curious, when you talk about this anxiety, in terms of getting one of your kids, exposing your children, right, as a parent, because you're still working, right? Oh, you're not working anymore? Okay. But so you're home with them all the time. Do you ever want to leave? I'm going to go to Carla. I am curious. Do you ever want to just bounce?
The question.
Do you ever want to leave? Like, and say, okay, I'll be gone for, like, can you go?
With me, I would say no because I was always a hands-on mom. So, like, some people like, oh, don't you ever want to get away? But I think my kids are part of my sanity. So, like, when I'm feeling blue, my 8-year-old will come and he's like a total cuddler. Or my 10-year-old would try to do something sweet for me. So to me, it's just like I think I'd be in a worse position if they weren't around me. And I hate that maybe I feel like they are my little clutch, but I can't see life without them. Yeah. So I'm not one of those moms like, oh, I gotta go away from my kids. I need to drink wine tonight. Me is just like, what would I do without them? So I'm like a little bit of an opposite because I do really, truly love being home with my kids. So even though I hate COVID, I love being home with them. So to me, it's just like, I like being here.
I'm the opposite. I'm the total opposite of
Yeah. Tell us why. Tell us why, Danielle.
Because one of the first reactions that I had towards school shutting down, so like I'm the mom that hates school vacations. I hate the holidays because I'm like, I'm going to be with this person for literally all day. So when school started to shut down, I was like, oh, holy smokes. I'm literally with him all day. And that's how I am now. Like, I love him to death. And I always have to put that disclaimer because I feel I sound a little harsh. But, like, I hear other mothers that say, like, even on Mother's Day, I posted that question yesterday in the group, and I'm like, how many mothers, like, on Mother's Day, would you like to be with your kids or not? And there was a lot of mothers that was like, yeah, my kid was my world. I want to be with my kid. And I was like, huh? I want to, like, be like free and as a bird, and I'm that kind that wants to have a glass of wine and walk around the house naked, scratching my butt, and just like not having to worry about anything. So like I'm like you, Julia. When I go down, my mom lives downstairs, so there's a lot of times where me and him are literally like butting head. And my kid does have ADHD, so he can't smoke, and I'm like, go downstairs, leave my home. I close the door, I go in my room, and I get under my bed and under the covers, and I just hide out. And I'm like, oh my God, what if he comes back? Mm-hmm. So although I love him, like he's my little homie, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you're a lot, and I'm a lot, so I know he has a lot of me in him. Mm-hmm. So it's like I can see my energy in him in an 8-year-old boy ADHD body, and that is scary. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree with you 120%. Then I have that guilt of like, maybe I would probably be the one that would be like, yeah, I'd like to get away and have a little vacation as my child sneaks up on me and side-eyes me, and you know, but she knows who's the boss. And I feel like Fortnite, PlayStation, all of these things have become my second, you know, parents at home. So, and letting her buy what's it called, B-Box? Something that she buys on. I'm like, okay, yeah, here. So I'm gonna be financially broke by the time this quarantine is over, because I'd love to hear, Carla, how does your son? I think he's a little bit older, right? So, how? Yeah.
Well, I'm very fortunate not to have small children during COVID, so I thank God for that. You know, people frowned upon me for having a kid at 20, and look, I'm living my best life. My son is the difficult part is that this is his senior year, so you know, prom's not happening. They're talking about having virtual graduation, so it's been difficult because he's. And of course, you know, I wanted to celebrate. I've been waiting for prom, and I've been waiting for graduation for him his whole life. So that's sad for me and for him. Yeah. So, but it's hard too, because the age that they're at, you know, he doesn't really want to be home, right? Like he's home for a little bit, but then he has a group of friends that they are all quarantining too, and so they go to Mary Lou's every single day to get coffee. And it's just the four of them. They're always together. And, you know, he's up all night, Fortnite and all the other video games. So for me, it's difficult because I'm a light sleeper, and it's like 3, 4 a.m. and he's still up. So that's difficult because I'm having a hard time sleeping. Yeah. So, but aside from that, he's a good kid, and he wears his mask. He has on his gloves. His friends have masks in the car too. And I have gloves in the car, you know, already in sandwich bags. His larges, my mediums, like we have everything already set up in the car, so we're ready to go. So he's very cautious, so I'm grateful for that. And so he's really careful. Shoes outside the house, we don't wear shoes in the house. All of that, wash your hands as soon as we get in. So he listens, so I'm grateful for that he's not a kid who's just going outside, not wearing protective gear, and then just coming back in. Because my mom lives I love that all of our moms live upstairs or downstairs. My mom lives upstairs. Yeah. So, you know, my mom's over 65. My stepfather's in his 70s, so we have to be careful. And then we're in a triple decker, so we're disinfecting the front doors, the back doors. Yeah. I also have tenants on the 3rd floor, so just trying to keep everybody safe. And they are working in the medical field, so I work in the at Brigham, but I'm working from home right now. I go in a couple times a month for the patients who need injection medications. Mm-hmm. And so when I do that, then I'm like, you know, as soon as I come home, I'm like, take everything off and just kind of sanitize and get ready to come back in just to keep everybody safe. Yeah.
And I know you have to leave us a little bit earlier. So what I forgot to say in the beginning of the show, because I got distracted with the technical difficulties, is that we're going to be announcing the winner of our Nominate a Mom at 7. So if those who are tuning in, just continue to follow along, ask questions, share your thoughts on Facebook Live. And Carla's going to leave a little bit earlier than that, so I don't want you all to think that she stormed off the set because we asked some crazy question. So if you don't see her anymore, just don't worry. And then I'm gonna ask my daughter nicely again if she could please put on her AirPods or something, because it's really challenging, Annalise, to do this. This has never happened to me. This is the first time that we do a show, and this is what I am experiencing. So Shaquera, I know you have a house full of little, not little ones, but different ages. So are they taking care of each other? Like, what's to do? Don't talk yet because we can't hear you. Okay. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, now we can.
It's been a challenge. My oldest is 16. He's the only boy. So at first it was like, yay, no school. I can be up all night and TV and phone and all those things. But then as it goes on, and it's like, oh, school's closed indefinitely for the rest of the year. He's like, I can't do this. So he's 16, and then my two girls are 11 and 4. My 11-year-old is like a mini-me, but she's getting to the point where she's like, okay, I'm done with helping you. He needs to help you, or you need to do it yourself. I'm also in school, so my 4-year-old, during the day, she does her little school stuff for about an hour to an hour and a half in the morning, and then she's just on go, wants to play, wants nothing to do with anybody else besides play. So she's fine. It's just, honestly, I'm more worried about the emotional aspect of this whole thing for my older two, who understand that people are dying, there's no school, you're not safe outside. And then when you have children who are into stuff like The Walking Dead and those type of movies, they're literally like, yo, this is from a scene, and I remember this, and this is they're like trying to predict what could happen next. Mm-hmm. To the point where my 11-year-old is like, well, if the malls was open and there was a riot, then I would just get a bunch of this and a bunch of that. And I'm just like, that's not the reality. So we are dealing with some emotional things. On top of it, right before COVID really hit and everything was shut down, we lost my mother-in-law, and my oldest two children found her. And so we've never been able to go to an outside source for therapy. We're literally doing it at home. So I'm asking questions every day. Sometimes I get an answer. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes we get along. Sometimes we don't. And so it's more an emotional piece for us than it is anything else.
Yeah.
Carla, I'm a social worker, so I just want to let you know that if, once we get offline, I can connect you if you're interested. There's websites that you can look on. There's EnoPsych, which is for people of color. There's Psychology Today and a few others, and everybody's doing telehealth visits. And so if you already have Zoom set up, they can just do it.
It's great. I'm so grateful for you saying that, because I was set up with a therapist, and because of COVID, if you're a new patient, never been to this place before, it's a little bit of a process. And there's a bunch of phone calls, a lot of phone chats, a lot of emails, and nothing has happened as of yet. So like I said, trying to narrow it down and trying to use the knowledge that I have as an early childhood educator for so many years, it's not the same when it's your personal stuff that you're trying to, unload. And it's difficult when your 16-year-old is like, I just can't talk to you about certain things. Yeah. And we have a dope relationship. Yeah. Like, it blows my mind to hear, I just can't talk to you about certain things. When we talk about everything. But at the same time, I have to understand that was their experience. It affects us all, but it was a situation where I was not there to help my kids, and I'm never not with my children, ever, like ever. And losing her, who has been a second mom to me forever since the day I met her, is very difficult for me too. But so it's one of those things where you can't show your emotional effects because you got to be strong for them. Mm-hmm. Being superhero and superwoman and supermom every day, it is tiring. It is absolutely tiring, especially again when you have no other outlet.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to be strong and display your emotions, because that also teaches them how to show theirs and how to deal with their emotions, and the therapist will help them process their feelings and all of that. And I don't know if you're seeing a therapist already, but if not, you should connect to one too. So I think it's hard when we're trying to raise our kids and then they're experiencing things that we weren't able to protect themselves ourselves and all this guilt that we kind of have to work through too. So I think that'll be helpful for all of you.
So I'm gonna read
We
it.
were in therapy prior.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. You were in therapy prior. Go ahead. No, keep going.
No, we were in therapy prior because I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. Julia knows. I'm also a survivor of domestic violence, and they've witnessed it for 3 years. So we were already in therapy, and I think the fact that they know we're going to go back to it, it's exciting. But at the same time, it's like, for mommy, we don't want to have to talk about all these things again, and then people come around and ask us all these questions, and then they disappear, because that's literally what happened. The therapist came, we talked to a therapist for like 4 or 5 months, and once the therapist feels like, okay, you're fine now, they literally just disappeared. Never called back, never came back, and email, no longer with that company. Like, it just dropped out of nowhere. So again, we've been self-healing on our own for quite some time.
Yeah, that is difficult. But yeah, I think maybe like somebody in private practice who's always going to be there because it's their practice might be helpful. Because it is hard when people switch jobs and then they have to cut the connection with the client based on the organization that they're with. So that.
Wait, Carla went on mute for some reason. Okay.
Oh, I just said you're welcome.
Go ahead.
That's it.
No. Thank you. We're really lucky. We're really lucky that we have a clinician and a social worker here who understands this conversation from a whole different space. Carla, and I'm just curious too, in terms of the work that you've been doing. Have you seen more calls from parents, from single parents who are now struggling as a result of what's happening at home, or they just are not finding ways to disconnect, engage? Like, what has that been like from your perspective?
I work at Brigham and Women's Hospital, which is in a substance use clinic called the Ridge Clinic, and so I'm primarily seeing a bunch of different people, and so in our clinic, what we've seen the increase in is alcohol use for mothers, people who already had children at home, and then now they just had a new baby. They already had a substance use issue, and so they're having a hard time coping. And sometimes, like that, it's easier to have cravings and to kind of go back to using alcohol and things like that to cope because you're so stressed out. You don't really know how to handle your kids being home all the time, and then you have a new baby and all that. So I think all of that is like very difficult for people. And liquor stores are still open, right? And so that's where people are going to cope. And so I think we really need to teach people coping skills, walking, eating healthy, and there's just a bunch of different things that help with mental health. Instead of using substances to cope, because that's not sustainable long term. And so it's important to learn some greater coping skills.
Yeah. So Danielle, I think that you seem to be somewhat of I think you use humor as a way to cope, or at least that's what I'm learning about you so far. So I'd love to hear some of your coping mechanisms and how you're surviving the coronavirus.
Fine. I literally try to find the humor in every situation. So I've been like the person, and humor and the bright side. So even though like at home,
de verdad.
At home, I'm literally like the person who is like, oh, I hate this, I hate everyone, I hate everything in real life. Like when I'm online or if I'm dealing with people and they're going through something, I tend to turn to humor to kind of make it better. So like when I was sharing news about, like the death tolls and how many people are getting sick, I decided to, tell me something good. So that I would start posting articles of people recovering, or the recovery rate, or the people who have gotten it and have those symptoms and are good. Because when we scare everybody into submission, I think it does a really bad thing to us mentally. And we started in this conversation. We've talked a lot about therapy and mental health and stuff. And I feel like it was really turning people. It was really upping anxiety levels and stressing people out, and people were like starting to get really depressed and go dark. And a couple of times I have went dark, but I have a really, really great support system, And and I know that when I hear them laughing, because I'm literally like being dramatic about everything, it actually makes me feel better too. So I am that person that if you're feeling down or if you're in pain or something, just call me and I'll probably, like just start saying exactly what's in my brain. And it's usually nothing of like real sense, but it's hilarious, it's funny. I think I'm the funniest person I know. And that is really where I want people to do. Like in these times, we need to laugh. We need positivity. We need to know that people out there are going through the same thing. And I too am in therapy. I go to therapy, well, Zoom therapy every other week. And
Wow.
like when I speak to her, it's like, again, I hate everything. I don't want to do this. I want to leave. And then as soon as I get off the phone with her, maybe it's a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism, but I'm always just trying to, be the asshole and just give people like a little bit more to look forward to.
Yes, I don't own the rights to this music. I just want to say that I did not endorse that message. No, but I love your realness, and no, seriously, it's like I'm gonna go to Paula next. I'm gonna ask you a quick question, but I want to say is that when the coronavirus situation came on the scene, and that's what I call it, on the scene, is that there were some times when I would post things like I don't have a poker face, so whenever I feel something, I wear it on my face. And there was a press conference that I went to with Mayor Walsh, and I was mad because I was like, what do you mean you're not going to close this city down? It was something that my face was all on it. So anyways, there was this meme going around with me looking all like giving him the side eye. And I was like, that's what happens when you don't pay your child support. Making jokes out of it. And somebody inboxed me on Twitter talking about how inappropriate I was being while that people were losing their lives, that I was making, that I wasn't being serious. And, I didn't clap back, but I did say something along the lines of like, you know what? People of color in particular is that we're a resilient community. We've been through so much and we always overcome, right? And regardless of how things are coming down the pipeline, we can't lose our sense of hope, and we can't lose, and I wouldn't say our humor, but we need to also put things in perspective. And so humor and laughter is a way that I deal with my own anxiety, right? Like that's just how I cope. I think I always like to see the bright side of things. I don't feel like everything is doom and gloom. And so getting criticized for even doing TikToks, people think, well, you're a city councilor. Why aren't you? I'm like, I'm doing a lot. And just because I take a little moment to do a little TikTok with my daughter, it's my mental health, right? It's our opportunity to connect, to do something fun, get away from the computers. That's what I do. But there's always people who may think that what you're doing is bad. And even though you don't, right? So
I think those people are weirdos. And I think that those people are miserable. And although we're living in a miserable time right now, because Corona is absolutely miserable for anybody. I mean, for the kids, for adults, for everybody, for babies, it literally is a miserable time. And if all you are seeing is people being serious all the time, then it's kind of like, oh, well, this sucks even more. Like, we're like, people get mad at comedians for making jokes about real life issues. But if it wasn't a real life issue and you couldn't relate to it, nobody would ever laugh and comedians wouldn't be around.
That's right.
So that's why it's so important for every profession, whether you think it's needed at the time or not, somebody needs it. It might not be you, but somebody needs it. And I really can't succumb to the people who are like, oh, that's not appropriate.
That's right.
It's not appropriate for you.
Right.
And that is understandable. And you have the choice to turn me off or no.
Yeah. I'm going to go to, I appreciate this and I love it. I'm going to go to Paula. I know earlier we're going to go to Paula next. So if we can unmute Paula, that would be great. Paula, I know that you, can you tell us how many kids you have first? And then I'd love to know how you've been coping and dealing with these stressors that come along with, being at home. Even though you like being at home with your kids, you're special in that sense. But would love to hear from you how you've been coping, how you've been managing.
So coping hasn't been that great. I lean a lot on a couple of cousins who kind of get me through when I'm having like really, really bad moments, which seems like tends to be a lot. I have two boys that are 10 and 8, and I'm a baby cry, obviously. Back in January, I got fired after being out of place for almost 8 years because, me and the new boss didn't see eye to eye, and so she found a way to be manipulative and lie, and so I had issues with unemployment and having an appeal. COVID hit, boom. And then I also started a new job right when this was all happening. So I was like, all right, I have to deal with unemployment right now. I'll wait for later. I'll just let the appeal go through its motions. And then 2 weeks into my new job, I get laid off because of COVID. So I couldn't apply for the unemployment because of my already ongoing case. And so I started working with a legal aid to help me sort that out. But with unemployment right now, regular unemployment is kind of like they're not even there. And so we came up paralegal, what would be the best option for me, because at this point in my life, I'm just out of money. So at this point, I was like, let's close the other one, start the pandemic one, because at least that one should be guaranteed for me. And now, even though I've withdrawn it, which I didn't want to because I felt like my old employer and old coworkers were all trying to paint me as an angry black woman and the single mom who should have just kept her mouth shut and kept her job. So I felt like they were going to win. And at this point, I was like, my kids are going to have to come first. So I dropped it. After dropping it, we tried to apply, and it keeps kicking me off, saying that I still have an ongoing appeal, even though I got a letter saying it's been done. So I'm also dealing with that, also dealing with IRS, kind of like holding my refund as ransom for whatever reason. So not having income coming in with a house with 2 children has been impossible. So I sit there and worry every day, like, what's going to happen next? Will my car get repoed? What bill am I not going to pay? And the only thing I'm grateful is that since we're not going out, I don't have to buy the kids any new clothes. And my son, who needs new shoes, doesn't really need them right now because we're not going anywhere. So I'm just trying to figure out how to survive. And then once it's all over, I also stress about how am I going to come out from under this as well? Because right now I'm at a situation where I feel like it's going to take me years to come back from it. And it's been really hard. And so anxiety's been at an all-time high. And I just don't know where to turn to because no one can really help me. So even when I try calling different people who say they're willing to help you with unemployment, they really can't. So then I start getting questions like, oh, are you receiving child support? And I literally wanted to one day strangle this lady through the phone after asking me that. And I'm like, he's not helping. He's behind. What does that have to do with me? And so just to me, it's just like, I don't think they get it, and I don't think they understand what being a true single mom is, especially when I am the only breadwinner. There's no other income unless I'm working. And I can't work because I work in a dental office. And then I also have, the fear of going back to work. Because now it's like, yeah, it'll be great. I'll go back to work. I'll start making money. But then there's still the virus, and there's still the who's going to homeschool my boys. I've been doing it this entire time.
Yeah.
I don't have someone to stay home with them to do the homeschooling. My sister is home with a newborn and 2-year-old, which is out of the question because she can't focus on her kids and homeschool my kids. So at this point, I'm just like, am I going to lose my job to stay home and homeschool my kids? So it's just like things that me and my therapist have been working on where I feel like it's just almost like a drying cycle. Yeah. Like it's just going over and over, and I don't have any plan of what I need to do, but I know that I can't leave my kids either. But then I'm also the newbie at work, and so I'm the last one hired. So it's like, I don't know if I can talk to them, like, can I just stay out of work until my kids are done with school? So I'm just going through tons of emotions right now, and it takes a lot of me to not cry every day.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna connect with you after, because you almost made me tear up, and I'm like like you hear these stories all the time about people who can't cope, and I'm like, I feel blessed because I'm still getting paid and stuff like that. But then listening to you, I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I'm going to connect with you after, because we can definitely do something. We've been trying to figure out what we can do to help and how we can help. And I definitely I'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
Paula is one of the reasons why I volunteer all the time in our community, delivering food, picking up things, dropping off diapers, and all of that, because these are all resources that we need in our community. People already had food insecurities and child care issues, lack of transportation. And so all of these things were already issues that were affecting our community, and COVID has exacerbated all of these issues, which is creating more anxiety and causing more mental health issues, because like Paula said, listen to all of the things that she just listed that she's going through, and that's a lot for one person. And then in addition to that, you're trying to be a teacher, custodian, therapist to your kids, and a mom, and so it's difficult. It's very difficult for the people in our community to continue to fight. And Paula's breaking down, and like she said, she cries every day, like she's reaching her breaking point where you can't handle it anymore. Like it's a lot for people. And like as a community, those of us who are able and those of us who can, I think it's important for us to volunteer. I post a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, mainly because a lot of people don't know how to access resources, and so I post flyers, I post what I'm doing. I get tons of messages from people asking, how they can sign up to get diapers and wipes and other things that, other essential items that they need. And so, we just need to all help each other. And I love that Danielle, that she'll connect with you after, and we're all trying to connect with each other to help each other out.
That's right. And I think that this is one of the reasons why we started doing these community conversations. I think the first or second week after we had to stay at home, I wanted to create a space like that on every Tuesday, that we would have different types of communities that come together to talk about these issues, because we're all suffering oftentimes alone. But when we realize, and when we have people like you, Carla, and other community doing this work, because we have our own lived experience, we know for ourselves what it's like to not, right? Like a lot of the work that's coming out of our office is focusing on food insecurity. We've created a fund to help support people to be able to pay their bills. And we've been fundraising and doing a lot of work around mental wellness, because all of these things are interconnected. Being poor is traumatic, right? And I think we don't really talk about poverty and the intersection of mental health, but those things are so interconnected. And I think that when you are deciding whether or not you're going to have food on your table, or you're going to pay that light bill, or you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and then that you also have to be the landlord, the janitor, the cook, all of these things is really stressful, especially when you don't have a partner at home, to kick in and to support, whether it be financial or emotional, or just to even call the kids every once in a while. My daughter's father lives in Atlanta. And so, I've been raising her on my own, and I don't get any child support. And I'm the only household income. And luckily, my mom lives downstairs, as I mentioned. But I feel like as a single mom, I'm worried about my 10-year-old daughter, and I'm worried about my 71-year-old mom, right? So I'm in the two most vulnerable ages to deal with this sort of type of quarantine, because both need a lot of my attention. And as a single parent who was raised by a single mom, sometimes my mom drives me crazy too, and telling me how I should parent, right? So all of those things, I think after I get done with this, I'm going to sign up for Carla's therapy and get myself some clinician time, because I think we all need it. And I'm so happy to know that everybody on this conversation has someone that they're plugged into a clinician or really seeking ways to support their mental wellness, because that's our kids are watching how we act and what we do and what we don't do during these times. And so it's really important for us to try to help model that behavior for our kids in terms of staying mentally sane. So I'm going to go to Shaquera, in terms of just kind of like for you having a number of different scenarios that you've already survived. You're a domestic violence survivor. They've been talking a lot about how domestic violence is on the rise during COVID-19. People can't escape those spaces. What are you hearing from other survivors? What are you hearing from the community? What's it like for some of the moms that have experienced domestic violence?
Well, one of the things that I do as a survivor is I advocate for other survivors and victims. I just received a call today, another survivor, in reference to being racially profiled in the town she lives in by the police in that area. And now her children having to deal with this whole new trauma of a force of police officers coming in and saying, oh, never mind, wrong, we didn't find what we were looking for, never mind, and so there's the trauma of that. And then there's clients that are saying to me, some that are doing well and can feed their families, and there's clients that are saying, so we have now moved in with another family member who has multiple children and multiple people in and out, and we can't control how they run their household, but that's where we had to go because we had nowhere else to go. Or I had a client who was in a shelter and was vacated from the shelter due to safety concerns, and same situation, trying to figure out how to feed your children on a daily basis. And because I do this thing grassroots and on my own without any outside funding, I'm finding that some clients are like, no, I don't need help, because they know it's coming from my source. But at the same time, I should relationship to be where I can trust that if it really gets bad, they'll tell me, because we've had a relationship, right? But it's one of those things where you're hearing people say, this hotline said, call if you're a survivor, and we're going to help you with, you have the restraining order, you have the evidence, you have the experience, and to be told that your situation is not severe enough, that's beyond me. And to be told this by organizations whose direct thing is for these type of situations. So who do you pick? How do you differentiate this case is worse and this case is not so bad, we'll take this person? It's one of those things where it's like the disparities of how you pick and choose who to help is unfair.
That's right. And
at this time, because everything is closed, you can't really hold people accountable. We just have to take note and remember for when we can do that. And who knows when that's going to be, right? Yeah. So it's been very difficult with some folks making sure that they have food and the things that they need. But by the grace of God, it's been happening, whether it's through me or people who support the work that I do that are helping these women and children. So it's getting done. It's just frustrating when you're told to call a 1-800 number or call a local facility for survivors and victims, and the door's being closed on you because your English isn't that great, or you're not a citizen, or you have education, or you said that one thing like, oh, my restraining order expired. Well, then you don't qualify. Like, you have to be in immediate danger right now for us to say we can help you.
Yep.
It's just very discouraging.
Yep.
It's very discouraging.
Yep.
But like I said, by the grace of God, these women and children, they're surviving. They're surviving. I do have a lot of anxiety around my teenage clients who had a job, don't have a job anymore, and don't have a source to help them to eat. That is very difficult. And then with all this free money that folks are getting, $500 free independent, I've got clients whose parents or mothers have received these monies, and these children are still hungry today.
That's right.
It's very disturbing to know that you're getting benefits for children you don't have access to.
That's right. That's
something we know once again, but it's happening.
Yep.
It's happening. So again, my anxiety is not just my own. It's the work that we do. It's the world that we're living in now, and then seeing my own children have those fears. My son call
Yeah.
that his friends.
Oh, is it my internet or is it?
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's one of
he's
those.
ready to run away, but has no. Come here, come together.
Yeah.
I can hear some. I don't know.
I I'm having some technical difficulty. I'm telling you all. Um, I don't know if you guys
I
can
can
hear
see
me.
Danielle.
Can you see everybody?
Yeah, I can see every. I think it's just Julia. She's frozen.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
my.
you're back on.
Let me just tell you all. My whole situation is so bootleg right now. So first of all, we normally go live directly from the Zoom, but today we had some technical difficulties and we weren't able to make that work. Then I got my niece out here packing up all her stuff because she's about to have a baby in June. She had all her stuff in my house, so she's packing up to leave to set up her other place. My daughter is like out here talking about her little game. So like today's conversation has been, I hope that you all just continue to bear with me. It's on brand,
Yeah,
right?
it's on brand for what we're.
You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say, Julia, I wouldn't. Honestly, all of that, everything happens for a reason. First of all, people voted you into office because you're real and you're honest and you're transparent and you're relatable. So having all that background stuff, that just makes it more like she's not only my neighbor, she's not only someone that we voted and respected. She has the same experiences as me, so I can understand it. And so you have to be. People have to understand you're human too.
That's right.
So the fact that you're talking about single moms and how we're coping and all these things are happening, everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And this, for me, right, I'm looking at it as whoever that person is that was doubting who you are and why you're where you're at and why people walk with you the way they do. I hope this is helping them out because you're not someone that's giving us the cookie cutter. We didn't have this, screening questions that we can only answer this and only say that. You let us be who we are and be transparent enough so that the people who are watching in our community can see this is everyday life. This is everyday life. We all come from different walks of life. But look at the reality. We're all from Dorchester.
That's right. Well, it's so.
So for whoever was watching that has an issue, that's just too
Yeah,
bad.
that's right.
I do love that panel of Dorchester girls because I always hashtag Dorchester.
That's
so
right. That's right.
It.
Yeah, I so appreciate that. Thank you, Shaquera, because I was, as we continue with this conversation, it really is. I said I don't prep anyone. We just speak from our hearts. This is really just a conversation. It is what it is, and so I appreciate that. I'm gonna go to Paula next. I know that you are definitely, carrying a lot, and I would love for you, if you don't mind, sharing with us what can we, the people who are watching, the friends that, if other people have friends like that are in the same situation that you're in, what would you want people to know about you, and what can people do to help in these types of situations? So we're going to take Paula off mute.
I think for myself, because of the situations that I have, it's all like you have these government agencies that no one can make you do anything, or even when people try to attempt to go around it, they can't really help me in that way. But I do appreciate when people just check on me or ask me, hey, do the kids need everything? And because I am how I am, I always say, no, they're great. But if you want to send us some arts and craft supplies, I take it. My cousin knows very well that it's hard for me to take someone's help or let someone in because I am that type of person. But inside I really do want it. And I'm like, yes, help me, please. But a part of me is just like, why can't you figure this out? This is your job. You're supposed to be able to take care of your kids. And I've been doing this since my kids were 3 and 1. And when my ex-husband left, it was just just down into the ground of let me build myself back up. And once I did, I thought everything was great. And then things happen along the way, and then you start doubting yourself as just a human being. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I figure this out? And then this happens, and you're just like thinking the world's against you, even though there's tons of people probably in my shoes, same situation. If they can't, find someone to help them. So for me, I just appreciate the love and support, because I know financially not tons of people can help me right now. That's just the truth. And so I appreciate just even though I can't hug and love on anyone, and I don't really like to, but I do appreciate the hug emojis and the hearts and someone saying, you're doing a great job, because that means like the world to me. Like when people see my kids, and my kids they're very lovey-dovey, and they make cards for everyone who's been helping their mother, and they're overprotective. If they hear me crying, or if they see that I'm upset, they want to come in and like fix my problems, which I hate, but then it's cute that they're trying to do that for me. So like for other people who are probably in my shoes, inside I want to say it's going to get better, but I myself can't even believe that for right now, because I'm going through just so much stuff. And for me, it's just like, if I have unemployment issues, I have unemployment issues, IRS. But it seems like for me, it's just tons of stuff, tons of things at the same time. Like today, I had a complete drain backup at my house, and the plumber left a while we were starting this meeting, and that's like, $400 going out, but I needed it because I couldn't have water damage. So just like there's just too much stuff going on right now, and I feel like mentally I can have one more bad thing happen, and that's my biggest fear. And today I think I would completely lose my mind because I just can't have any more stuff on my shoulders. So I appreciate the friendship that I have from people who want to support and help me, because that literally gives out. Maybe having to not go back to work, like homeschool my kids, and then being me, and culturally, I joke, and my family, we joke about the worst things, but it gets me through. And I was telling my sister, maybe a couple of assistants, maybe they have the COVID and they can't work, and maybe I'll work closer to home instead of being in Watertown. So those things, even though I don't want anyone to die, but maybe it might benefit me to be closer to home. But that's just my cynical side, and but that's how I cope with certain things, is by laughing, and then later on I may cry about it. But I'm tired of crying, and I'm tired of being hurt, and I just want people to understand that just because you're doing okay, sometimes it's hurtful for you to kind of constantly like put it at someone like, oh, I'm still paying my bills, and it's like, for someone that's difficult. And I also have a friend who, she got a bunch of new furniture and a bunch of new things, and always has leave, and she's constantly showing to me, and I'm like, wonderful. But then inside I'm like, if you're really paying attention to me, the last thing in your mind would be like, let me show her all this stuff when she's struggling to even pay like a credit card bill right now. But it's like, some people, I just wish they would just be understanding that some people are really struggling right now. And it's not just struggling alone, you're struggling for two other human beings that can't do anything without you. And so for me, it's just like, be super supportive, be understanding, and not everyone has the same situation as you. So maybe be sympathetic and not kind of be flashy at a time when people are just struggling to just have the bare minimums in their households right now.
That's right. Thank you.
I like how you started out really, politically correct. And as you got on, you started to let it out. And I think that was so dope. Like, and that's the kind of things, like the first thing I thought was like, she needs some wine.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds
really quick because I'm jumping off. So I interrupt you.
Bye. Thank you, Carla. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where, and I'm glad that you use humor too, because that's the first thing I thought. Like, I'm gonna go buy her some wine, and she's gonna sit there, and we're gonna drink it socially distanced, and we're gonna have a good time, and then we're gonna buy some shoes for the boys, and then we're gonna do things. So like that's where my brain goes. It goes like all the way there. Like I'm gonna tell her she can come live with me and I'll pay all her bills. But I'm like, wait, hold on, wait, calm down. But that's really. I think that what you said around the end was so important. Like, when your friends are your friends, they have to pay attention to not only themselves because everybody's going through their own whatever, but you just kind of have to be mindful, and it's not to diminish their light and you know the great things that are happening to them, but sometimes you got to pull back a little bit. And I'm really sorry that that's happening to you. And you know, I don't want to even be so cookie cutter and saying that things are going to get better, because we never know when things are going to get better, right? But like my goal now is to find a way to at least make sure that, you know, you cut that crying 50% of the time because something right is happening, and your computer started to break down, but like your roof is not falling in, and that your water is not bumping, and that you don't have another bad thing like, oh my God, FML, you know, like, geesh. So yeah, I think you'll be good. At least you'll smile a lot better after this.
Yeah. I think everybody needs to package.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I think that everybody needs to package up Danielle, and just like put her somewhere and just always press play whenever you need a little bit of dose of joy. Call her, right? And she'll bring a bottle of wine, y'all. I want to share some of the things that people are saying on Facebook. So this is from Donna. She's a determined diva, hustler out there, always working hard. She says, oh God, I've got a lot of comments. She goes, I have anxiety, and then I get even higher anxiety working with my clients, not being able to get them the masks they need, sanitizer, and food. A lot of seniors have no one, or elder abuse, and it just breaks my heart. That's another mom out here who's working real hard. Paula Kelly says it could be very overwhelming and lonely to be a single parent, and that's where anxiety kicks in, and that's one more thing we have to fight. Yeah, being single during these times, and you can't even like on Plenty of Fish or like try to date right now. Everything's on Zoom, y'all. We like quarantine situation. It's not a good look right now to be single, y'all. Okay, let me focus. Let me see. Okay, what else we got? We have Tina Bullock said, I'm an early educator, and I have a 19-year-old son and a 9-year-old stepson, and I'm finding my 9-year-old is having real issues, real separation anxiety from not being around his peers and his other siblings. It's very sad because our little ones are suffering from watching their parents go through these struggles while trying to deal and be strong for them. Parents are trying to cope along with their children. That is so right. We are trying to hold it down, be strong for our kids, and we are also breaking down, right, on the down low so that nobody could see us. It's like it's that superwoman complex. We definitely just need to reach out for each other, support as much as possible. Absolutely. I mean, you know, I think we talk a lot about the village. Right here, there's a village. We've created a little virtual village. None of y'all knew each other, right? With the exception of Carla and Paula knew each other, but nobody else knew each other up in this space. And like we're bonding, and you have people who are also following us on Facebook. Like, we are the ones that we've been waiting for, right? To be honest with you, like this is what it looks like when we're in community with each other, and when we don't have to suffer alone. We don't, you know. And I do appreciate, Paula, your comment about like sometimes when somebody's living that life and they forget that you're not living that life. It's a good reminder that people need to just be really super mindful of what is happening outside of their own little head. So I think that that's also an important piece of something for us to consider as well. I know I did say it's 7:04. What we're gonna do, because today's a different type of show, if you will. You know, it's my little Oprah moment. But first of all, we got to do this again. Could we raise our hands if y'all really want to do this again one more time? Like, could we get together one more time and have some fun? Like, Yo, we're gonna have to do a check-in and see how we're surviving these Corona times, right? We need that. I would love that. But I would love for each of you all to kind of close things out because we're gonna move on to we're gonna do the announcement. We're gonna showcase some of the moms that were nominated for the Nominate a Mom project. But I would love if you all can just give us a little bit of love and light and some closing words of inspiration that you want people to walk away with. And I'm going to go first with Shaquera. I'm going to go to you. So if we can go to Shaquera. Well, we're going to Shaquera. I don't know. Oh, there we go.
I can hear you. First, I want to say to Paula, I would love to connect with you when this is all said and done. I'm looking forward to meeting you as well, Danielle. And Julia, thank you for putting this together. One of the things that's sticking out for me right now is I have a professor, his name is Rich Wright, and what he says is adversity is the springboard to success. So if we look at the things that's surrounding us now, and we find the good in these things, and we use that to be our stepping stool to come out of this thing 10 times better than who we were before, because one of the things that happens is trauma either, changes you for the worse or it transforms you for the better. It all depends on who is pouring into us and how we're internalizing the things that are happening to us and the things that are happening around us. So what you're doing now, Julia, what you did for me was you helped me to see that, it's not just me who's dealing with the struggles of being a single mom and having to be stuck at home with your children and going through the woes of, not having enough money and the decisions of, do I pay a bill or do I feed my children? You've helped me to see that there's faces that are resemblance to me, and these stories of resilience and these stories of Paula and Danielle, like, it's inspiring for me to know that there's women that are out here that are still thriving and surviving to be great. And society will make you think that we don't exist. There's no such thing as a strong, independent single mom, right? And especially for women of color who have sons, because society says we can't raise a man, right? At the end of the day, my 16-year-old is dope and amazing. And what is happening with COVID is definitely playing a role on his mental health. But because I'm conscious of that, right, he's not allowed to sit in silence. He's not allowed to not tell me how he's feeling. He's not allowed to just go in his room and close the door. We have conversations. So this right here with you women was a therapy session to me as I wait for it to actually happen for me. So I'm grateful to have been a part of this whole experience. And Paula, please remember that you're not alone, and we got your back. And now that I know about you, boo, you definitely ain't by yourself.
Absolutely not.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
Not by yourself.
No.
And if you can't tell me no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to find you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I remember what you said that one time.
That's right. Thank you. I'm going to go to Paula.
Right.
Yes. I love this. I don't even want to let y'all go. I'm going to go to Paula next. Come on. Tell us how any words of encouragement, things that you want to leave people with, speak from your heart. Let it flow.
Like the other ladies, I'm glad that I, Zoom met you all and to see like a different side of what someone else is going through, which is, nice to hear. And all our situations are totally different, but we're still kind of all struggling with our own stuff. So I'll walk away knowing that there's like all these women here who are willing to want to connect, and I would love that, and I wouldn't say no to connect with you guys. And to other people who are just kind of going through it right now, it's just like I tell myself, tomorrow's another day. Let's see if we can make it better. And sometimes the day doesn't end up being the way I want it to. But then it's like, there's another day. And I try to be super positive, not only for myself, but for my boys. They have more fun with me when I'm smiling and not hiding in my room, watching, Married with Children for the 100th time in a row, because I want to laugh instead of thinking about my life. Yeah. So I can't say, oh, I think I get better, because I just right now I'm not there mentally. But it's for me, it's just hopefully the next day will be better.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go to Miss Danielle. Thank you, Paula. Miss Danielle.
What are we doing? Our last word?
Yeah, words of encouragement.
Words of encouragement.
Or anything that comes from your heart. Whatever's in your heart, girl, give it to us. Whatever that is.
And I hate to sound cliche all the time, but like everybody else said, like, there is a real support team out here. There are people that, just because we've never met before, we're out here, and there's a lot of people been waiting for opportunities to help other people that they didn't know about before. And even if it comes out of our pocket or out of an initiative that we do, there is always ways that we can help people, especially us women of color, us single moms, us that are, for the most part, doing it ourselves and just trying to hang tough and show strength for our kids. Because, I think somebody said it before. I don't know if it's Carla or Shaquera, but there is just a lot going on for each of us. And when we find this tribe and when we find these people that are willing to help us, you can't tell us no, because we know what you're dealing with. We know what you're going through. We have experienced it. And although our situation might not be the same, it almost sometimes just feels the same, like everything is happening at the same time. And just because people will be like, well, at least you got a roof over your head and your kids have food to eat, yeah, we're all grateful for those situations. We're all grateful that we're safe and that we're healthy for right now. But there are some internal issues that we're all dealing with, and that we all just kind of just need that, that tribe to stand on or to support us. So for everybody here, I would love to stay connected and just do this again. This is awesome. And anytime that anybody needs to just kick back and shoot the stuff, I'm always around, whether DMs, emails, text. I hate phone calls, but I'm literally always around. And if it needs to be a phone call, because whatever, I'll even drive by your house and throw candy at your porch or whatever it is. I'm one of those people that I'm down for whatever. And even when I'm dark, I find light in making other people feel good. So if there's anything that I can do for anybody, and if anything that our media platform can do for anybody, we're here. Like, we're literally here, trying to kind of bridge that, that communication level between the media and the community, to make sure that, they're not just talking about all the other people, they're talking about us. That's so right. Again, I think this forum was amazing, and I would just leave by saying, hey, you got people in your corner, and we're all home, so we don't got nothing to do but to help you out.
That's right. Yes.
We're all bored at the same time, bored and busy with these kids. Wonderful choice.
Yes, kids. Yeah, I know our kids, right? I feel like, for me, this was my own. I'm on mute. Let me find out. No, I'm not on mute. This felt for me like my own little therapy session, because I feel like I have my own little village of people who I can identify with. And so I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you to come on this platform, not knowing what you were going to get yourself into. But, we had a good time, and time went by really, really, really quick. And we had a lot of people who joined us via Facebook, that I had to hold the phone for the people that I'm on my phone right now, because normally I told you all, but we have managed to make it happen, like as we always do, because that's what resilient women do. We just figure a way out, right? That's it. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to put Danielle in charge of saying a few more things, just because I know you work in radio, because I have to go get my other phone so I can see how this situation is going to look for our giveaway. Because, like I said, the way we were normally going to do this changed up, so I've had to change a lot. So I'm going to leave this recording. Danielle, do you want to talk a little bit about your radio show and, what you do?
Yes. Again, we are Spark FM online, and one of the things that we found that are most helpful right now is that there's a lot of people just looking for some music to listen to, and some good, ways to kind of disconnect. So we have 24-hour streamings, and the music is really good, if I do say so myself. Our DJs are really awesome. They're world-renowned, they're global, and they're amazing. So with this, we're just kind of just feeling it out. COVID has put a really big stop to our schedule and the things that we wanted to run. But again, like Julia said, like we're getting through it. Like as a single mom raising a business, even just now when we're on this call, I forgot to put somebody in the schedule. So they're like, we can't connect. And I'm like, okay. So good thing I have this computer going and everything is on there. And I work literally from morning to night and in between watching Netflix. And it's really important for us to just kind of find an outlet. And what I've found that helps me cope the most is to detach. And I do feel guilty a lot of the time by detaching. I've quit the radio station at least 3 times. Like, I'm the owner, and I've literally been like, I'm done with this, I'm leaving. And they're like, but where are you going to go? And I'm like, okay, I'm back. But sometimes you really just have to, if it fails, it fails, because mental health is so much more important than anything else. And even with your boys, and I admire you saying that with your they're boys, right? Because I keep calling them boys. Yeah, even with your boys, it's important that you not value them, that they are your mental health. Like they keep you grounded. Okay, and I think that no matter what it is that keeps you grounded,
I just gave you the name. I just gave you the names.
And even
the numbers.
as a mom, we all feel like, I gotta, like, even when you're like the most involved, it's sometimes you're just like, I just need to just stop and just kind of just not do anything. Like, I don't want to deal with feeding them. I don't want to deal with making sure, as long as they're safe and as long as you know where they are, it's like, okay, they're good. But sometimes you just kind of have to, like, take a break from everything and just close your door, put on a show, and just watch it. I find that making my kids sit in front of, I don't make him because he wants to sit in front of the TV and watch YouTube and Ryan, and I'm sitting there looking at Ryan like, this little boy makes $23 million a year. How can we get that? So like, even if you got to start taping them and doing activities with them and starting a YouTube, you never know. That might be a little outlet for you too, to even end up making some money in the long run, where you're like, I don't need no job because my kids are out here doing YouTube and they got mad money. They go take care of their mama.
Yes.
Hey. You're on mute.
Oh, I'm on mute. Well, good. Because nobody needed to hear me. So I'm on mute again. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Here. Thank
you. So we're going to announce our winners. We did a random raffle. So initially we said that we were going to do one gift card and a care little package. But we had we had a big turnout in terms of like response. So we're going to do 3 instead of 1. And then there's a little a care package. So we have 4 gifts to give away. And you got to give me a minute, because I am being the technical director. I got to go look on my screen here because it was randomly selected. Oh, yes, that would be great. We're going to post it on Facebook, on our Facebook page. That would be really helpful. It's going to be posted on our Facebook page. Sorry, guys, as I awkwardly try to figure all this out on my own. Give me a minute. Okay, so the winners are Amanda Lawrence, Amanda Lawrence Bryant, Lisa Warskowski, Lisa Andura, and Lorraine Stringer. Those are the 4 winners. All right. So if you go on our Facebook, you'll be able to see our winners. Again, we'll repeat them. Sorry. We have Amanda Lawrence Bryant, Lisa Warskowski, and you're going to kill me because I'm mispronouncing it. I'm sorry, Lisa. We have Lisa Andurra and Lorena Stringer are the 4 winners. So we are going to ask you all, those winners, to please send us a DM with your home address so we can mail you your gifts. That would be great. And thank you to all the folks who nominated moms. As we know, during these times, every little bit could bring a little bit of happiness to someone. So we really do appreciate you showcasing and nominating moms. And on our Facebook page, you'll see all the nominees as well, including the ones that we selected. So Tina is saying, take care of your mental health. It's very important. As moms, we feel guilty for that, and we shouldn't. Personal time is really important. So Tina was really engaged, and I think, says that she wants to join us the next time we do this. I think that the next roundtable discussion that we have, we will invite more people to participate, because it seemed like it was a very lively discussion and more folks wanted to be in the mix. So we'll be sure to do another casting call, if you will. I found you all through some of the casting. I put a post out there about moms who are holding it down and people who can have a real conversation. And Danielle, you were tagged on that post. So everybody came to us in different ways. So I really do appreciate all of us coming together. Thank you so much. We will definitely be in touch for the next show that we do. And if no one else has anything else, I'm not one to hold anyone hostage. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go on gallery mode so we can see all of our beautiful faces. Hold on one second. Where is this? There we go. Here we are. We're all here. We can say bye. Thank you. Have a beautiful night. You know I love y'all. You know you're my new BFFs. Y'all ain't going nowhere without me. And Paula, you know what? You got your village right here. And I'm gonna share everybody's information so that we can all keep in touch. All right? And we're gonna do a reunion after we go back to quote unquote normal, okay? All right, my loves. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night. Stay safe. Stay home. Bye. All right. Bye, Paula. Good job, Paula. Good job. Okay. All right, guys. So we had a lot of technical difficulties. So sorry for that. I had to move into another room because there's stuff happening here. So just wanted to thank you for listening, and hopefully whoever you nominated was selected. And if not, there'll be other opportunities. So have a beautiful night. Thank you so much. Bye.